Hello and welcome to Thai Yoga Massage at Home. Now we'll be covering the back and shoulders. So have your partner lying face down. Ideally they won't have a pillow at this point so that you can access the shoulders. But again, what's most important is that they are comfortable while we're working. So we're going to start from the head. And you can do this a few different ways. I like using the outside edge of my hand, and I'm just going to shift my body weight in to compress. And working on either side of the spine. When you get to the lower back, it might be a little easier to switch to that palm press. And pressing into the sacrum. Just using your body weight to get that shift. You can also, if your thumbs feel good, you can use your thumbs to just do some thumb presses. And again, just working on either side of the spine. If it feels tough on the thumbs, you can also use, I don't know if you can see that well, but using a fist to support your thumb. So rather than having the hands open, you can use that fist to have more support of the thumbs there. You can also do more of that side to side. Now coming on to the left side of the body, we're going to be working the right side, but I like to work across the body for the back. You can, so sinking in just lateral to the spine, you can use your palm press here. Just using your body weight, shifting forward to get that pressure. You can also use the finger blade, so sinking the fingers in just lateral to the spine. This is a little more specific, more targeted work. You can also use your forearm roll. Be careful that you're not putting direct pressure right on the spine when you do this, and you want to adjust your position so that you're lower on the ground, so that you're not just hunched over. So my knees are kind of spread, and now I'm sinking in just lateral or to the outside of the spine, and doing that forearm roll. You can also do this from the same side. I'm going to demonstrate just on this side, where your arm is parallel to the spine, sinking in, forearm roll. So take some time to play with that, see what feels best for you, but really working up and down along the spine. Those are the erectors. They really help stabilize our posture. Most everyone needs a lot of work through here. Coming down to the low back, there's a little muscle called QL. It's sore on almost everybody, especially if you do a lot of driving, a lot of computer work. Even if you're just on your feet a lot, it tends to get aggravated. So you can really work along that QL. You can also, again, dropping lower to the ground, you can use an elbow press. So dropping your elbow in. Again, as your hand lifts up, you're getting more pressure. Straightening the arm is releasing. And when you're receiving this work, make sure you let your partner know maybe they need to be a little bit closer to the spine, and just really play with that spot. You can also come in with your heel, and you can do a heel press into that low back area. If you don't have great balance, you can use the wall, you can have a small table set up, but this is a good practice of your balance, but you don't want to hurt your partner because you're fallen. Some days are more graceful than others, but so as I press with my heel, I'm really coming from the outside, and I'm kind of pulling my heel towards me or towards her spine as I'm sinking in as well. So working along the spine, now we're going to come up to the shoulder. So I'm going to hop over to the other side of the body, and I'm going to straighten her arm. My left hand is holding onto her lower arm. My right hand is going to squeeze her traps. I'm actually going to have you look the other way. That way then, you see how much more space we have here to work with. So squeezing her traps, and I'm literally just squeezing. I'm going to squeeze, and then with my left arm, I'm going to pull her arm down. So squeeze, pull the arm. Squeeze and pull the arm. Letting go of the arm, I'm going to come back up to the head of the mat. And now we're going to work along the shoulder girdle. So you can work with your thumbs on the upper traps. You can work along the medial side of the scapula or the shoulder blade, working into the rhomboids. Again, if your thumbs don't feel great doing this, you can also use your fingers. We're not muscling this. You're not using really like the strength of your hand or your arms. Just leaning into the hands with your body weight to get that pressure. I really encourage you to pause the video. Work this area as much as you feel like it needs to be worked. You can also work your forearms in here. Always being careful that you're not compressing any bony parts. It's not going to feel good for your partner, but it also doesn't feel good to you to be compressing onto any bones. Coming back down, so facing the top of the mat now, I'm going to slide her arm out a little bit so that I can kind of nestle right in here. And with my right hand, I'm going to come under the front of her shoulder so that with my left hand, I can kind of push just outside of the scapula, and lifting with the right hand, you're really mobilizing that scapula. So my left hand is actually like sinking in under the scapula as I'm lifting the shoulder with my right hand. Also working on top of the scapula here, your rotator cuff muscles. These can be pretty sensitive on folks, especially if they do a lot of computer work or anything where their arms are in front of them a lot. So really working the whole flat side of the shoulder blade out to the shoulder. And your partner can let you know when they say oh, I feel that, then maybe that's a spot where you hang out and really give it a little bit more lovin'. if you'd like, you can also, while the arm is here, just do some compressions down the arm. And now, since we're already on this side of the body, now we're going to work the left side of the back, working the erectors along that run parallel to the spine. Again, this is something you can palm press, you can finger press, you can also do the forearm rolls. If you do the same side forearm roll, this is what it looks like on this side. So my forearm is parallel to her spine, sinking in with that fleshy part of the forearm, and then rolling onto the outside of the forearm. Doing finger presses just to the outside of the spine, not pressing directly on the spine. And then coming down and working that lower back area, QL. This is where you can also do an elbow press into QL. So my right elbow is going to sink in and to release, straightening the elbow. Sinking in, straightening the elbow. This is where you can also use your heel if you prefer. Trying to figure out the best way so you can still see. So heel in, coming from the outside, you're really sinking in and pulling towards that spine. Now switching to the other side of the body. I'm going to lift her arm and pull her arm out. Thanks for turning the head. Again, have them look the other way so that you have a lot more space to work with that trap. So with my right hand's going to be the one pulling the arm. My left hand is going to be squeezing the traps. So squeezing the traps, pulling the arm towards the feet. Squeeze the traps, pull the arm towards the feet. Coming up to the head of the mat, we'll do some more focused work with the upper traps all around the scapula, and spend as much time here as you need to. Make sure that you're using your body weight, shifting into those pressure points. You can also use the outside of your hand. Not pressing directly on the spine, but just to the side of the spine. Same with that scapula. You can also do the forearm roll here. And if your partner is really petite, sometimes the forearm roll is a little tougher on the back side or on the back. So always do what feels good to you and what feels good to your partner. Coming back to the side of your partner. nestling in right next to their torso. My left hand is going to slide under their shoulder. My right hand is going to be what's sinking under that scapula. As I lift her scapula, the right hand is sinking in, and the left hand is what's getting that movement in that shoulder girdle. And now working the rotator cuff muscles, those muscles that are on top of the scapula. Doing some palm presses down the arm. Just a good way to connect the body. A lot of regular massage is very segmented. We do this leg, then we do this leg, then we do this part, and then that part. The Thai massage is really great to just connect the whole body. So it's great to, anytime you can, connect the side bodies as well as incorporating the arms with the back. So coming back up to the head, speaking of connecting the side bodies, we're just going to connect the left and the right side again. And however you'd like to do this. You can also do this with your knees in the glutes and palm pressing the back. This area between the scapulas is often an area that a lot of people hold tension in, so if you have the time to spend a little more time there. We're going to move into Cobra now. So I'm going to have Courtney spread her arms a little bit so that my feet can be on either side of her hips. I'm going to take a seat on her sacrum. Okay? So you really want to make sure that your sacrum to sacrum, if you are too much on the low back, that's not going to be comfortable for the low back. So we're going to sit here. And this is a little more advanced, so if you don't feel comfortable doing this, then skip it. I have another Cobra for you that's a little bit easier. Sitting on the sacrum, I'm going to lift her arms up over my thighs. My hands are coming to the front of her shoulders, and this is really important that you work on the breath. So on her exhale, I'm going to root my feet into the ground, so all of my movement is coming from my feet pushing into the ground. You don't want to use your back to lift. You're going to hurt your back. So this is a really strong, root through your toes, root through your feet, and just push your feet into the ground